Good afternoon, and welcome to the Greater Pittsburgh Community Food Bank. I am Terry Gould, a proud food bank board member. This afternoon, you will meet our new Chief Operating Officer, Justin Lee, and you're going to learn about our advance choice model. You'll also hear from Food Bank President and CEO Lisa Scales, who you all know, about our ambitious goal to close the meal gap by providing an additional 30 million meals over the next 10 years. Without further delay, please welcome the wonderful Justin Lee.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's a pleasure for me to be here with you today, and I really want to thank everyone for coming out to meet with me and discuss some of the initiatives that we're pursuing as an organization. It is really truly an exciting time for the food bank, and I'm thrilled to join the efforts to eliminate hunger in southwestern Pennsylvania. I spent the entirety of my career in the for-profit industry, the majority of which was with Bayer Material Science, now known as Covestro. I was fortunate enough to have a wide range of roles with increasing responsibilities in the areas of inventory management, metrics reporting, Six Sigma project management, network optimization, and other supply chain related functions. From Bayer, the opportunity arose for me to manage the end-to-end supply chain of a rapidly growing confections manufacturer. It was this accelerated growth that highlighted the need for supply chain expertise, as well as to bring structure to an ever-changing landscape as the company continued its national expansion. From Bayer, due to the scale of these operations, it was very rewarding to see the value of the projects and initiatives that I was a part of. Millions of dollars were saved, efficiencies were gained, and transit times were cut in half. These experiences allowed me to gain a specific skill set as well as an understanding of success in the organization. One of the many things that I admired of Bayer was its mission of science for a better life. Yes, it is a for-profit company with annual global sales in the billions, but it still managed to focus on how its products improve the quality of the people's lives that it's touched, as well as bolstering the economy through innovative ideas. Saving money and making things more efficient was rewarding to see on the immediate monetary impact, but I am extremely grateful and humbled that I have the opportunity to leverage my experience to support the mission of the food bank and meet the needs of our community. And those needs are high. According to a study completed by Feeding America, our 11 county service area experiences an annual gap of 60 million meals. Through the significant collaboration between the food bank, our donors, partner distribution organizations, member agencies, and other partners, we were able to provide 29 million meals in last year of 2015. Over the next 10 years, we are committed as an organization to closing that gap. To understand our path forward, it is essential that we evaluate the current landscape of supply. Food banks have traditionally relied on shelf-stable manufacturer donations as a large percentage of the food we distribute to the communities. However, as manufacturers become more efficient in production and inventory optimization, that leaves less food for donations to these food banks. This is wonderful news for these manufacturers as they have less production overruns and minimize the wide spreads of inventory to their impact. But in order to realize our commitment to closing the meal gap, we now have to shift our focus to other sustainable sourcing opportunities. Feeding America and the Natural Resources Defense Council estimates 6 billion pounds of food goes unharvested or undistributed annually. This does not mean that it sits on the shelves at your local supermarket and gets tossed away at the end of the day. The produce never even has an opportunity to leave the field. Not only does this provide an alternate stream of procurement for the food bank, it aligns with the mission that we want to provide nutritious meals to the families that we help serve. Produce can often be hard for our families to obtain, and we are ecstatic to move in a direction that provides this in a more readily available instance. Our sourcing group is working with local, regional, and national partners to increase the amount of produce that we bring to the food bank. It is the coordination of these efforts by multiple parties that will allow us to gain access to this rich, available resource. The distribution of produce comes with its own inherent logistical challenges. The first that comes to mind is the limited shelf life of the product. Many of these products require refrigeration to extend the life of the shelf life, but our current capacity of cooler space will only allow for so much internal growth. These racks that you see here were not intended for a truckload of strawberries to be stored for a number of weeks. That would not be a good thing. Therefore, there needs to be a shift in the philosophy of our distribution model as it relates to these perishable items. Ultimately, we need to find a way to optimize our efficiency, inventory, and throughput of our operations. And there are a number of initiatives we are evaluating, but one that I wanted to highlight for you today was one that we had seen success in other parts of the country, and that is what we are calling advanced choice. Advanced choice is an allocation model and distribution method which is designed to provide produce based on individual household needs and preferences. By understanding these requirements at the partner level, we are able to forecast demand and allocate product on a more consistent basis. It allows us to distribute more frequently and also providing fresher options for our families. In conjunction with our efforts to source more produce, there is also a focus to deliver in more of a just-in-time model. Just as we work to accelerate the throughput in our own operations, we have to partner with our agencies to make sure that we deliver to them as close as possible to their distribution points as well. As an example of potential distribution under traditional methods, there are multiple parties involved in the distribution of produce. It's the farm, to the food bank, to the PDO, to the agency, and then finally, eventually, to the individual households. Now, within each of these steps, there's transportation to each of the different points in the process, and also a possibility of storage at each of the levels from the food bank to the agency. This could potentially elongate the time that it takes for food to get to families. Part of the mission of Advanced Choice is to coordinate the efforts of everybody involved with the ideal situation of delivering to the PDO just as the agencies are ready to pick it up. The agencies would then be able to quickly turn that around and have the ability to provide food for its people. It is this forward-thinking model that will allow us to know where the product is going before it even lands in our warehouse and when and where that next point of distribution is. In doing so, we will be able to shorten the lead time from farm to table. We are currently in the first phase of our Advanced Choice pilot program. Our team has worked diligently with 3 PDOs which service Fayette, Greene, and Washington counties. By understanding the demand and partnering with the PDOs, we are better able to forecast the demand and increase the allocation of our product to those places. We have been able to increase the frequency of our deliveries and decrease overall lead times to ensure that individuals in those counties have access to fresher foods. This next image summarizes the outcome of the first phase of our pilot. On the right, you'll see the results from the program which began in September 2015. The image on the left is the baseline from the prior year's activities, and there are 2 important successes of this pilot that I wish to highlight. First, you can see the dramatic increase in the produce highlighted in green at the bottom in both quantity and as a percent of our total output. In the baseline year, the produce represented 14% of our total output, and with Advanced Choice, it is now 42% with the 3 PDOs that we have. Also, it is important to note the slight increase in the non-perishable items as well. Total poundage grew by over 50% and represents almost 700,000 meals distributed to those counties. So we are strongly encouraged by the results of phase 1 of this Advanced Choice pilot and are currently rolling out our efforts to begin phase 2, which would bring on additional PDOs as well as member agencies. So again, thank you for the opportunity to share these exciting initiatives with you all today. We realize that none of this would be possible without the valued relationships that we have within this room. And now I know that Lisa has some thoughts that she would like to share as well.
Well, thank you, Justin. I'm so proud to have you join us in our effort to feed people in need and mobilize the community to eliminate hunger. You bring such wisdom, expertise, knowledge to the table, and I'm excited how your skill set is going to help us transform what the food bank in our community of partners and supporters is able to bring to the tables of the people we serve. So thank you. For those of you who I have not yet met, I am Lisa Scales, President and CEO of the food bank. As Justin shared, the food bank is in the midst of a revolution of food sourcing and distribution. But advanced choice is so much more than the optimization of a business model. Advanced choice is really about people. Everyone needs healthy, fresh food. Every child, every senior, every one of our neighbors. At the food bank, we hear from families every day who are in need of food. Families like Lenore's. She and her husband have 2 sons. One of them is in high school. The other is 22 and is autistic, so they still care for him. A few years ago, after a 25-year career as an engineer, Lenore's husband lost his job. He was downsized from his job, and he was unable to find another full-time job. The family's income dropped dramatically. They exhausted their savings, and they even took a penalty to withdraw funds early from their 401k. They did everything that they could to stay in their Swissvale home. But Lenore and her husband, they are currently both working, but working part-time, which does help them. But Lenore shared that there are times that they literally have no food in their home. So thanks to our community of supporters, those of you who are here, Lenore and her family are able to get the food they need to make ends meet. Hunger in our community doesn't look like what we expect. I often say that hunger is a hidden issue. Parents like Lenore and her husband often feel ashamed that they can't support their children. But there's so much strength in asking for help. And there's something wonderful about coming together as a community to answer that need. Justin referenced Feeding America's Map the Meal Gap. This nationwide study looked at state and county level information on food insecurity, food budget shortfalls, and the cost of food index. And they calculated how many meals are missing in a community. Humbling information was revealed in 2015, as Justin alluded to. The Meal Gap study found that 60 million meals were missing. And by 60 million meals, those are the meals that our network needs to provide in order for people in southwestern Pennsylvania to have enough food to eat. And those 60 million meals became the focus of the food bank's new strategic plan. And as we sat together last spring as board and staff at a retreat, it was humbling to me to see the impact when we heard those staggering numbers as a board and staff together for the first time. You could hear a pin drop when it really sunk into us as to what that meant to our organization. And then a board member raised his hand, and he said, well, you know, if not us, who is going to lead this effort? If not us, who is going to meet the need in the community? And that's when you felt it in the room. I'm feeling it now. I felt this electricity, and you felt it in the room, the turning of the tide. If not us, who? This organization and our amazing network of partner distribution organizations, the smaller food banks in the rural counties, our amazing member agencies from food pantries to soup kitchens to after-school programs, senior centers. If not us, who was going to step up and meet the need in our community? So today, we are building the future of the food bank on the bold goal to set forward in our strategic plan. We're proud to share that the food bank is fully committed to leading the community to eliminate the meal gap and helping the people we serve to stabilize their lives. So we're working both on meeting the need by 2025 and reducing the need by 2025. We know that the way forward for the food bank and the way to better nutrition for families we serve is through increasing our distribution of fresh food. It's more affordable. It's one of the most affordable ways we source produce. It's available in abundance. Justin referred to the 6 billion pounds of fresh fruits and vegetables left to rot in the fields. It's a healthy addition to the tables of the people we serve. And advanced choice will drive our success in this area. But more importantly, we know that we cannot do this alone, that our success also depends on our community coming together to ensure that all of our neighbors have access to healthy, nutritious food. So thank you for coming here today, and thank you, Justin, for your remarks. I'm glad you are here to meet Justin. We're very excited to have him on our staff, but also to hear more about advanced choice and the healthy fresh food revolution that we're engaged in here in southwestern Pennsylvania. And on behalf of the families like Lenore's, thank you for all that you do each and every day to help us carry out our mission, help us continue to provide healthy fresh foods to every neighborhood in southwestern Pennsylvania. And thank you very much.
Hi, everyone. My name is Susie Latchet, and like Mel, our chair, and Dave Sherrick, hi, Dave, I have the distinct privilege of serving on the board of directors of the Greater Pittsburgh Community Food Bank. It was really nice to remember our board retreat last spring, Lisa, and I want all of you to know that the board is here to support the fantastic team here at the food bank in their efforts to close the meal gap and to meet the call to be the folks that live up to that mission of, if not us, who, right? So I want to thank all of you for showing up here today, for your thoughtful questions, for many of you for the great work that you do in our communities, and for your support. We are so grateful for all of you. And I hope that today was a chance for you to develop a deeper connection to our mission, which is to feed our neighbors in need. So thank you, and have a terrific weekend.